So I remember being back in college, first couple of years, I was a no one. I didn't really do a lot. I had middling grades, like what C's and D's. I think was average for me, and I was always behind on assignments. I didn't really do anything. I didn't really care. And then I got to a couple years later, about to graduate, and I was constantly getting asked by people or all the other classmates and teachers, like, "Dude, how are you getting all this work done? Like, you submitting assignments like a month ahead before they're even like due." Like, I remember turning in an assignment that the teacher hadn't even announced. Like, how'd you already get this done? I had the time to do it. So, hello everyone, I'm Jonathan Aquino, and I wanted to go over a topic that might be a bit controversial. It's a controversial statement. I'm gonna tell you right now. Title should say it all. It's actually pretty easy to manage your time better than 99% of people, because everyone doesn't really pay attention to time, if that makes sense. The only ones who really care about time are those who are actually going to be successful. So I'm gonna try and kind of teach you the basic principles and the ideas of like the levels and such that will go from, all right, so you're bottom of the barrel, you got notes once to, wow, look at you, you're the king of time management. So understand right now, as I stare at you right now, that time management is easy. It's so easy to understand, but there are sacrifices you have to be willing to make to do this. Obviously, some of these very tiny, very insignificant, but once you get to a high level, like myself or some other people you may look up to, you have to sacrifice opportunities, things you may like, because you're so dedicated to your task, your project, your purpose. Let's break it down. Let's make this easy. So, first of all, most people don't understand that they have awful time management skills. Are you one of these people? You're not. Well, great. You're better than like 50% of the population already then. Genuinely, like it's so easy. If you can acknowledge and admit, yeah, dude, I got a terrible sense of time management. You're already better than like 50% of the population. Write that in there. So easy. Like, say right now, if you know you have awful time management, that you have awful time management skills and you're going to improve. It's that simple. You do that and you're better than 50% of the population. Just like that. Because others won't admit. They won't admit that they're failures. They won't admit that they have this one little flaw. They won't admit this. They won't admit it at all. And you just did. So that makes you better than them. Simple as that. Now we start getting to some of the harder levels. So level 1, as I said, is acknowledge you have terrible time management. So now level 2 is you need to sacrifice. We're already sacrificing at level 2. But the sacrifice is the unimportant things or actions or such like that. So what does this mean? Sacrificing YouTube, sacrificing Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, social media in general, sacrificing opportunities that don't mean anything to you. Like, I know there was a couple of things I did back in college where I was like, why am I doing this? I'm not getting anything from this. Or, shit job or stuff like that. Like, things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but you're still doing them. Like, I know the big thing for me was video games. Like, I was like, why am I playing this? What do I get from this? Like, I'm not this guy anymore. I'm a completely different person now. Why am I still playing? And I cut it off. It wasn't that hard of a sacrifice. And I got back like 20 hours a week. So the thing with this level is that these things are really easy to cut off because you just won't miss them when you replace them with stuff that actually means something, like your hard work or a job that actually you do want to do, or you focus on school so you can get that out of the way, passion projects, stuff like that. So this is level 2, which is sacrificing the unimportant things, which if you do this level, you're probably, I would argue, maybe 80 to 90% better. A lot of people that acknowledge it don't really want to do anything about it because they're lazy or they don't want to, but you want to because you want to get better. So you sacrifice those things, or at least you start sacrificing some of them, because I know I still have the YouTube thing, but I know that'll probably, I'm getting kind of sick of it, so I'll probably remove it in the future. This is stuff that it's just going to happen over time, and eventually you probably get to the top 90% of people of time management skills. This is where it gets hard for people. If you stop here, level 2, I already got so much respect for you because genuinely, it's great up here. But if you really want to push it and you really want to maximize time, then these next 2 levels are for you. So level 3 is sacrificing opportunities. So I can give you a perfect example. When I first started my book business, whatever opportunities I was given to get books, I took. I didn't care if it was an hour away. I didn't care if it was a bag of books. I didn't care how many books. I didn't care if the books were destroyed. I needed books to sell and everything was available. However, as time went on, was making decent money from it, it was getting to a point where doing all of them was draining me. Because I was doing 5, 6, 7, 8 trips a week, which would sometimes take an hour. So that's like 8 hours every day that I would waste. And the books wouldn't be good. So I had to start sacrificing them. So I would get messages, hey, can you take this bag of books? And I wouldn't reply because that bag of books is not worth me 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back to get nothing. It wasn't worth it anymore. So I sacrificed a lot of opportunities to get books. I only picked up books from those who said, hey, I got like 20 boxes. I got like 10 boxes of books. Like, okay, now you're speaking my language. That's something I will do. But anything less than like 5, I didn't do anymore because it just wasn't worth my effort. Unless specific and outliers showed up, I just didn't do it anymore. What does that story take away? If you currently do something that you know you have a lot of opportunities, you might want to start saying no to some of them that don't mean a lot or won't give you a lot in general. Because I know for a fact that you're taking too many opportunities that you really shouldn't. Not because you're not qualified. You're probably more than qualified. But is there someone else that could do it for you? Is there something that you could do that's even more important than the opportunity you took? Like, you need to understand that you have to sacrifice opportunities to get back time. Because I sacrificed, so instead of doing the 8 trips like I mentioned, I only did 1. So I sacrificed 7 chances to get books, but I got back 7 hours. So I could do 7 hours of getting books on my own. You could do the same thing, same principle. So you have to understand that. And if you do understand that, then you're probably up at the 95%. And I say that not as a big jump because some of these opportunities are too good to pass up. Some of these opportunities don't come up all the time, like the books, because the books came up consistently. But it's something that you need to consider. Are you doing everything in the day that you want to do? Are you maximizing your time? And if there's an opportunity that's just not doing anything for you and you're just kind of just doing it because it's there, maybe get rid of it and replace it with something that means something to you. And then this last one, I know a lot of you watching right now are going to look and go, no, I understand. But to get to this point, 99%, better than 99%, you are top 1%. You have to consider this and you have to do this. And I had to do this. You have to sacrifice your friends. So you have to go to a fire. No, don't fucking, no, but don't actually sacrifice. But you do have to sacrifice them in the sense of don't speak with them, don't interact with them, like just don't do anything with them anymore. There was a group of friends that I had and I would hang out all the time with, talk with all the time because they're, you know, high school friends, and you play games, hang out, you know, do all this stupid stuff. And when I moved a couple of months ago, I just stopped responding to them. I just cut them off because I knew if I kept on to them, we were going to continue doing stupid stuff. We were going to continue to play video games, and we were continuing to do stuff that I just didn't want to do anymore. I was so sick of feeling such a loser when I hung out with them, because then that's where they were. Like, I'll say it right now, they were, and I just didn't want to associate myself with that anymore. I have a friend right now. I have one, and that one guy, he's right here with me. We are right next to each other all the times. We have each other's backs. We are both working insanely hard on our goals. So I had to sacrifice them, my older ones. I don't really talk to many people nowadays that are of like that anymore. And I mean, dude, I got back so much time. And I think the best part, or the worst part, the best or funniest thing is because I haven't texted them, I haven't had to think about them. So they haven't texted me. So like I didn't really lose anything and I gained so much back. Now I understand if you are hesitant on cutting off your friends. I get it. I was hesitant as well for a couple of months. I cut them off recently because I moved, so I had that excuse. You may not have that excuse, but I can tell you right now, from someone who's cut off a lot of their friends, I am doing a lot better mentally, physically, and emotionally, because I'm not wasting my time doing things I don't want to do anymore. Alcohol, I don't really drink anymore. I fucking stopped doing weed years ago. I don't do stuff that negatively impacts me anymore. I want to make sure I'm at top A game every day. Hanging out with them was never A game. So I cut them off. And now I'm doing the best right now. This is the hardest level to do. But if you do it, I have a lot of respect for you. Because it's hard. So I'll recap the levels real quick. And first level is acknowledge that you have terrible time management skills and you will improve. And with that, you're fit better than 50% of the population. Next thing is sacrifice unimportant things. YouTube, socials, shit that doesn't really matter. Great. You've done that. You're now better than 90% of the population. Sacrifice opportunities. So if you've given the choice of doing a lesser opportunity or a grander opportunity, reject the lesser, do the grander. If it's an opportunity that doesn't make sense for you, don't do it. You do this and you're 95%. And when you sacrifice friends or things that mean a lot but aren't doing anything for you, then you're at 99. Then you're the 1% of people with time management skills. But as I said earlier, you have to sacrifice and you have to be willing to sacrifice. I was willing to sacrifice a lot to get my time. Are you willing to sacrifice as well? That sounded very somber. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.